Hello everybody, I welcome you to this channel, and this is officially my second video that I'm putting in this channel as promised. And today we'll be covering dysplasia and hyperplasia part. So sorry that I couldn't put the second part soon because of my procrastination. I did not put it's because of my laziness. I totally, that's my fault. I accept that. But yeah, here we are. I'm putting dysplasia and hyperplasia. This will, I swear, try to keep it very short. And after that, today itself, I'll put a second video, which is RCC. I've covered like primarily the adenocarcinoma first. Then benign and Wilms, I'll try to put it till tomorrow. And then we'll see what other topics we can put. So without any further bakwas, just let's finally move on to dysplasia. What is dysplasia actually? Dysplasia. First we'll cover. Dysplasia means disordered growth. Disordered growth. Okay, that is dysplasia. Of course, this is primarily seen in epithelium. How to understand that? It is basically common sense. What I'm saying is disordered growth. What is that thing in our body which is continuously growing? It is the epithelia. So that's why it is primarily always associated with the epithelia. In this, what do you mean by disordered growth? By disordered growth, I mean that the epithelia has lost its uniformity. It has, what am I writing? Uniformity. Swear to God, good doctor, but bad for meaty. Okay, so bad English or whatever. So this is disordered growth, which means loss in uniformity. Okay, what is loss in uniformity? It has lost its architectural orientation. Okay, it has lost its architectural orientation. Secondly, when do we say that when it's lost its architectural orientation, we say it is pleomorphic. So this show pleomorphism. But where different types of growth, different types of stuff we are seeing. That is what means by dysplasia. Basically, it is disordered growth, losses uniformity, loss its architectural orientation, and it's very pleomorphic. And every time when I say that it is pleomorphic, I associate it with, of course, you will only say if you have watched the video, please watch it. I've explained it very nicely that it has increased nucleuses to cytoplasm. This big of a nucleus it is having. Then what else? We have hyperchromatism, of course. Okay. Then what else? Then what else? We have abnormal mitotic figures. We have abnormal mitotic figures. Okay, this is what I mean by losses uniformity, losses architectural orientation, all of these stuff. Okay. So, what now? Now, we have something that what exactly is this? I told you what exactly is pleomorphic or what exactly is very vichitra here. It is this, that these type of cells, instead of our normal masum pavam cells, we have these type of cells. So of course it is abnormal, right? So next, what do we have? We have something. We have a chain of sequences. सबसे पहले the dysplastic changes or the abnormal changes will happen in like one cell, then other, and then other, and then other. धीरे धीरे it will spread to the full thickness of epithelium. Okay. Then, but the basement membrane is intact. Okay. This is called as pre-invasive neoplasm, or called as, you all know it, please, you all know it, is called as carcinoma in situ. Heard it so many times in cervical neoplasia, in breast cancers, you have heard it so many times. This is exactly what's happening. When we have these many abnormal changes in the epithelium, those dysplastic change when it covers the full epithelium, which we call it as pre-invasive neoplasm, where the basement membrane is intact, it is not breached, there's no stromal invasion, we call as carcinoma in situ. As I said, this is the pre-invasive neoplasm. That means it is completely reversible. if the changes which is causing these changes, no, if the factors which are causing these changes are withdrawn, it will be, around say go back to normal. These are called as mild and moderate dysplasia. But if there is like so severe dysplasia, it will result in carcinoma in situ. Then what do we have? We have a line. Okay, we have a line. I told you about metaplasia, right? What is metaplasia, Babu? Metaplasia is when there is a adult epithelium or adult cell type. It is changing into another adult cell type. Okay, so this is a line. Okay, this is a line. If a epithelium is metaplastic, and I told you metaplastic is also a precursor of neoplasm. If epithelium is metaplastic, it can have dysplasia. Can. Okay. And most oftenly, it has dysplasia also. Very, very oftenly, it has dysplasia. But not all metaplastic epithelium are dysplastic. Understand this. These are two different stuff, and I think I have, from the last video and from this video, I have made it very nicely clear of what the difference is. So this is the conclusion of dysplasia. You will hear dysplasia in so many different places when you're studying breast also, when you're studying cervix also. So I just made it clear. You can just watch this video and you will know what dysplasia is. Because I was covering, my OG plan was to cover only 3 things: metaplasia, anaplasia, dysplasia, because this is very confusing, very, very confusing. So I hope I made it clear. You watch the videos, you will actually get it. The thing that I was feeling, my OCD was striking, that why not just cover the another plasia, which is hyperplasia. It is very simple. It will take 10 minutes, like max to max 10 minutes. Just listen to me, okay? Just listen to me. We'll cover hyperplasia also. Okay, hyperplasia is not related to the neoplasia chapter as such, but yeah, you will get this in your cell adaptations chapter. Okay, so hyperplasia means hyperplasia, increased number of cells. Increase number of cells. Isn't it simple? Okay, we have increased number of cells in response to what? Whatever is abnormal happening in our body, it is of course any response to stimulus. So our body is very powerful of a body. If you do not just go and poke it, it will not do anything. It will be normal only. If you go give stimulus and poke that thing, it will of course show reaction. Okay, so increased number of cells in response to stimulus. Okay, this is what it is. Secondly, we have this hyperplasia is only occurring in those cells which are capable of dividing. So those cells, like in our like in our heart and all, which can't divide, like our neurons and all, it will not happen there. It will only happen in places where it can divide. Okay, so we divide. Before that, I would like to say the mechanisms and the morphology. Okay, we have mechanisms. What happens? Why it happens? The mechanisms is, we have growth factors, because of which we have proliferation. Either the growth factors have increased, that's why there is proliferation. One is this. Second is, there is increased output. But I'm so sorry about the noise. There's some construction work in our college 24/7 into 365 1/4. So this is happening. So I'm so sorry. I hope you can just hear me. Ignore that's consider that it's some frequency lo-fi music. Increase output of new cells from our Mataji cells. Our Mataji cells are tissue cells. These are the only two mechanisms, which is but common sense, but I have to just say it. Then we come on to the morphology. For morphology, we have, of course, the gross will be, the size will be increased. Of course, there's something. In microscopy, you will see, you only tell me, what is the common sense? Yeah, there will increase number of cells. There is increased number of mitotic figures. There is this thing. When I was telling you anaplasia, I told you one thing. There is this abnormal mitotic figures. Do you remember what I told you then? There will be multipolar spindles. But here, mind you, this is not abnormal. Normal only. What do you mean by that? How can you see this in microscope? I was like, yeah, you are sitting and counting cells or what? Yeah, basically you are doing that. But you will see number of cells, the increased number of cells which are showing spindles. But unipolar only, one spindle, okay? The whole thingy. This is the difference. This is seen in anaplasia. This is hyperplasia. Increased number of cells, sorry, I'm beg for the size, but increased number of cells showing mitotic figures. That is what I mean by number of mitotic figures increased. I hope you are clear. Next, move on to the two types of hyperplasia. We have physiological and pathological. We have physiological and we have pathological. First, I'll deal with the physiological first. Okay, in physiological we have two varieties. One is called as hormonal, one is called as compensatory. One is called as hormonal and one is called as compensatory. But before that, I just told you the mechanisms now. So just make sure the mechanism of physiological. In the mechanism of physiological, I would like to say that there are growth factors or there are hormones. Okay, there are growth factors and there are hormones. This increases the functional capacity of hormone or growth factor sensitive organs. Okay. So this leads to increase in number of cells. What happens is sometimes when we need to increase the functional capacity of the sensitive organ, okay, in case of need or compensation, we have growth factors and hormones, which because of this they cause the increase in number of cells. I hope you understood. This is a chota sa mechanism, but before that I'll tell you the examples of this. So first we have hormones. In hormones we have the first examples, and we all know this. We have female breast. This increase in size during pregnancy, during puberty, during lactations. Okay, this is the first example. The second example is we have pregnant uterus. Pregnant uterus. Third examples is also very common. We have proliferative activity of our normal endothelium of the uterus. We shed it every month, right? Sorry, endothelium, I'm saying endometrium. I'm so sorry. Endometrium. Fourth is there's something called as prostatic hyperplasia, which occurs in old age. Okay. Then what do we have? We have something called as compensatory. Okay. This is because of hormonal stuff this is happening. Oh, no, there is one more also, which is an example of both of this actually. We have, I'll tell you this after, like that examples after this, but usse pehle you come to the compensatory first. Compensatory, we have liver. If you are going through like what is it called, hepatectomy, that if you are going through that, so our liver will regenerate. Liver generation is a part of compensatory mechanism of hyperplasia, liver regeneration. Second is we have we have epidermis, our own epidermis, that. Then we have nephrons also. Nephrectomy, after nephrectomy, nephrons also regenerate by that. The example I was talking about was our marrow, bone marrow, not marrow, bone marrow. Our bone marrow, after some hemorrhage or hemolysis, what happens? There is increase in erythropoietin. This causes increase in number of RBC and their precursors. In anemia also, whenever you'll see increased marrow cellularity, increase in precursors of erythroid series, that dot. Okay, this is one example. I hope you understood the physiological one. Pathological one, we have again the same thing. Either growth factors or hormones are there, and then we are having, this. So what happens is there is excessive or inappropriate actions of hormones or growth factors on target cells. This is why. But the keyword is excessive or inappropriate. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs it. Okay. The first example is pituitary hormones. And ovarian estrogen. They cause increase in estrogen is to progesterone ratio, which causes endometrial hyperplasia and abnormal uterine bleeding. Okay, this is one example of these stuffs. We have, endometrial hyperplasia is happening and there is abnormal uterine bleeding. This is the first hormonal thingy. Second, because of androgens, we have benign prostatic hyperplasia. Primarily in old age. I told you, right? Prostatic hyperplasia is okay. But benign prostatic hyperplasia, itta zyada we don't want. Okay. Secondly, we have the second thing that we know is viral infections. Like HPV, no? HPV, what HPV do is thoda sa difference. HPV, they release factors, okay? These factors, they interfere with the host proteins which regulate the cell proliferation. And it causes increase number of cells. This is primarily seen in HPV, which causes skin warts. And these factors, when they start regulating the cell proliferation and interfere with those, and then they increase in number of cells and what, we call it hyperplasia. If epithelium is hyperplastic, no, this hyperplasia is actually called as fertile soil. So these hyperplasia can eventually lead to, a malignancy, as we see in benign prostatic hyperplasia, I just said, right? So this is considered as fertile soil, means that thing can turn malignant, okay? Or like turn malignant, we can develop a neoplasm there. So that is there. The fourth example which we need to see is granulation tissue. What is granulation tissue? I really wish to make a video on that. I think that I'll make it very soon. Wound healing granulation factors. But you just, abhikali, you just know that this is associated with wound healing. I'll make it in this week or so. I'll make that video in wound healing. So that is also pathological. In this we have number of increase in fibroblasts and all that thing. Then what do we have is something called as intraductal epithelial hyperplasia. Intraductal epithelial hyperplasia. Okay, intraductal epithelial hyperplasia. This is what we call as fibrocystic change in breast. Remember this, okay. The sixth example, Ajay just explained, no, fertile soil. The sixth example is based on that thingy only. What do we have? It's called as pseudocarcinomatous hyperplasia. You will ask me, ma'am, what is this? This is as like a pseudocarcinomatous. The number of cells are that much increased that it is seeming pseudocarcinomatous, and it's very highly chance of getting carcinomatous also. This occurs in a margin of non-healing ulcer. It's called Marjolin's ulcer and it causes squamous cell carcinoma. I think that's the example. So here we are done with hyperplasia. Just remember physiological and pathological. Physiological are more important than pathological, and remember pathological. Okay, so yeah, I really wish that you see these two videos. Please. I know this is very long, but I'd like to explain each and everything from all the books. If you watch this, if you know these notes, Please let me know if you want the notes also, and tell me the way of how to send notes, because I don't know how to send it. So if you want the notes, I really do have notes ready. If you are reading the notes or if you're watching the video, there's no need. I mean, you can just go and read Robbins once and you'll understand whatever is written in Robbins. Even same goes for Hirschman, you'll understand what's written in Hirschman. Even same goes for any book you are referring to, because I have actually read all through the books and then explained it to you guys. I hope you like this. And yeah, let me know if you want any changes regarding these videos, in anything. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I still don't have a mic, I still don't have a camera, or just let me know if you want, me to. The thing is, I don't have anything of a camera or anything for me to not use this method. So you tell me. I mean, I always feel like, yeah, it's very nicely if teacher is writing on the board and I am learning like that. So that's why this is the method I figured out, so that I write. And I know my handwriting is bullshit, but yeah, still, please bear with me. These are the notes that I had from Metaplasia and Dysplasia. Just tell me, I mean, just let me know a way in which I can share my notes, because I have zero clue. I don't know how other people share. So if you need these things, I can share it to you. I can share it my notes also in which I have written. So that would be good. Abhi ke liye, I think I should end this video because this is getting long and I'm hungry also.